Hello, everyone. I'm going to try something new here in our Reading Through the Bible group with the book of Job. I'm going to try to come on each day and record a reading of the book, the chapter, each day. That doesn't mean I'm going to get to it every day. I pray I do, but there's some days that even though I do my reading, the house is kind of noisy. And so if it's quiet in my home, I'm going to try to read and get the recording up that you can listen to the book of Job as we go through. Also, I'm going to add an element for those who would like to go a little deeper or like a little challenge. Perhaps you could find one of the verses in the book of Job as we read through. Pick one that stands out to you, that ministers to you that day, and maybe share why it ministers to you or what the Lord showed you that day in the book of Job as you were reading through. So today we're going to be reading Job 1. Today is July the 2nd, and it's the beginning of our book reading in the book of Job. And so we're going to start with Job 1. And today I'm reading out of the New American Standard Bible. The Bible pictured here is my New King James Version, but I'm reading from the New American Standard this morning. Job 1. There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job, and that man was blameless, upright, fearing God, and turning away from evil. 7 sons and 3 daughters were born to him. His possessions also were 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 female donkeys, and very many servants, and that man was the greatest of all the men of the East. His sons used to go and hold a feast in the house of each of one on his day, and they would send and invite their 3 sisters to eat with them. When the days of feasting had completed their cycle, Job would send and consecrate them, rising up early in the morning, offering burnt offerings, and according to the number of them all. For Job said, "Perhaps my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts." Thus Job did continually. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. The Lord said to Satan, "From where do you come?" Then Satan answered the Lord and said, "From roaming about on the earth and walking around on it." The Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? For there is no one like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, fearing God and turning away from evil." Then Satan answered the Lord, "Does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not made a hedge about him and his house and all that he has on every side? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But put forth your hand now and touch all he has, and he will surely curse you to your face." Then the Lord said to Satan, "Behold, all that he has is in your power. Only do not put forth your hand to him." So Satan departed from the presence of the Lord. Now on the day when the sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house, a messenger came to Job and said, "The oxen were plowing, and the donkeys feeding beside them, and the Sabines attacked and took them. They also slew the servants with the edge of the sword. And I alone have escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another also came and said, "The fire of God fell from heaven and burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them, and I alone have escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another also came and said, "The Chaldeans formed 3 bands and made a raid on the camels and took them and slew the servants with the edge of the sword, and I alone have escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another came and said, Your sons and your daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. And behold, a great wind came from across the wilderness and struck the four corners of the house, and it fell on the young people, and they died. And I alone have escaped to tell you. Then Job arose and tore his robe and shaved his head, and he fell to the ground and worshipped. He said, Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall return there. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Through all this, Job did not sin, nor did he blame God. Be sure to share what the Lord has shown you, or what verses stood out to you in Job 1. See you tomorrow. Bye.